All right, when we're writing systems of equations, we need to look through and try and first read the problem, and the first thing you're going to try and do is define your variables. When we go through here trying to pick x and y, you have to tell me what x and y is. It says Marcus has been saving his money to buy a new tablet. He noticed that he had saved $340 so far. He also noticed that all of his money was in the forms of $10 bills and $20 bills. He has 21 bills. How many of each denomination of bills does Marcus have? I'm going to start off, I've got x equals and y equals. This is defining variables. What are the two different things that he has? He has $10 bills and 20. So I'm going to make x the number of $10 bills. Y equals the number of $20 bills. Now, how many actual total bills does he have? Don't think about the dollar amounts. So for example, I'll give an example. Like when my kids were younger, okay? Jacob's the older one, Cade's the younger one. Cade, if he had bills, he just knew if I said, how much money do you have? He would just count up the bills and say, I have $10. Even though, you know, like maybe it was a 20 and a 10 and stuff like that. He didn't know the difference between, it was more the coins, not the dollar amounts, right? So to him, he had 20 pieces, or in this case, 21 pieces of paper, 21 bills. So he would have the 10s plus the 20s, and that was 21. 21 actually when he counted them. 1, 2, 3. Now Jacob, the older brother, was smarter because he knew the 20s were worth more than the 10s, right? Because he would be like, hey, Cade, let me switch you this one. Look, it has your favorite number 1 on it. So let me switch you my $10 bill for your 20, or didn't he say $10? He wasn't that, he was smarter than that. He's like, let me switch you the one that says, I'll give you the one that says 10. You give me the one that says 20. How about that? So Cade's like, sure, I love the number 1 or 11 was his number or whatever, right? Jacob knows the difference in the money, right? See, Jacob thinks he's slick till mama caught him, but that's okay. So now I have $10. So for Jacob, he has $10 times the number of $10 bills plus $20 times the number of $20 bills. He has $340 so far. That's our system. Now, if we went through to go and try and solve it, is either one of these written to where x equals or y equals is set up to substitute in? Does it look like a problem to substitute right now? It doesn't. So let me go over here. What we can do is x plus y equals 21. I'm going to solve for y. I'm going to subtract x from each side. Y equals negative x plus 21. This is one of them. You know, honestly, what I would do? I would take the second equation and solve it for y as well. I would subtract 10x from each side and get 20y equals negative 10x plus 340. Then I would, let me move this up. Then I would divide by 20. Here's why. Y equals, now if you struggle with the fractions, no worries. We have our handy dandy calculator. Where'd it go? What's happening? There it is. Go and put negative 10 divide 20 in there and press math, enter, enter. Let's reduce the fraction. So I said go into, not y equals, go into the home screen, put negative 10, divide 20, math, enter, enter. There's what it reduces to. So now this is negative 1/2 x. I can also do it, even if it goes in evenly, I can also do it with the other one. I can go 340 divided by 20. Oh, why is this not working? What's happening? Oh, because my pen's on. Golly gee willikers. All right. Try again. It's still not working. All right. 340. Oh, jeez. Okay. 340. I only try and be slick here. Divided by 20. All right, what's 340 divided by 20? Math, enter. The calculator is not being my friend. 17. It would have reduced it for you easily. Now, take your two equations. Let's see if it'll work this time when I go in here. Clear ink. Try that. Oh, there we go. Y equals, let's go in there and put in there negative x plus 21. And then you get negative 1/2 x plus 17. Well, one of two things. Go second graph. I know it's got to be in here because look at these answers. Can I have $15.50 bills? If you tear the bill in half, does that work? Do they still take that? If you take $1 and tear it in half, does Walmart take it for 50 cents? No, don't laugh at me. I'm just saying some people think crazy. All right. So where is Y1 and Y2 the same? Do you see it on my table up here? It says 8 and 13, 13. See how Y1 and Y2 are the same? Remember, the other way to do this is second trace, 5 for intersect, let them graph, press enter 3 times. It'll tell me my answer, 8 and 13. Okay, now that's great, but there we go. Maybe. 8 and 13. But remember when we were doing the problems earlier this week and I kept saying, what does that mean? 8 is the X, 13 is the Y. What did we say the X was? The $10 bills, right? So he has 8 $10 bills and 13 $20 bills. Now, we're going to work on setting these up. I'm not sure I don't know if I'm going to go through and answer all of them, but we'll see maybe a few of them. Let's look at this next one. If I can. There we go. It says a cable company. Now, this is on the printed side of y'all's page. It says a cable company charges a $60 setup fee and $80 per month. A second cable company charges $160 of equipment fee and $70 per month. Let me tell you, when some people sit there and say, why do you use systems and trying to figure it out? You have to use this, guys. When you're sitting there trying to figure out what cable company to use, when you guys have to start paying for your own bills, I promise you're going to want to find this out. Because they're going to give you different prices for installation fee, and you're going to have to figure out what's the better deal. Now, this says, in how many months will the cost be the same, and what will be the cost? So first, we need to write our system. So I'm going to have X equals, what do you have to pay for each time? The month, number of months. And what's Y? What's your end result after each month? It's how much you have to pay, right? So it's going to be your total cost. So I'm going to have my total cost for the first company is $60 for them to come and install it, plus $80 per month. The second company charges $160 for equipment fee, plus $70 per month. See, this is when I told you, you think, oh man, $160, I don't want to pay for that right up front. But what's cheaper down the road? So now let's go to the calculator. That's both in Y equals form. Let's put that in the calculator. I'm going to go to Y equals, maybe, clear ink, there we go, and put in there 60 plus 80x. And go into Y2 and put 160 plus 70x. Go ahead and try and answer those questions. So the numbers are bigger. I'm going to go ahead and try the traces. Second trace, the 3 wishes. 5 for intersect. Make sure you let your lines graph. I know mine is zoomed out. Enter, enter, enter. 10 and 860. You should also be able to find that in your table. That's your solution. So let me remember, 10 and 860. So 10 and 860. So what does that mean? X, then Y. It means in 10 months, both companies, whoever you went with in 10 months, both of them would have, you would have had to pay them $860. Now it says if you plan to move to 6 months, which one is the cheaper option? The first one was? Yeah, right there. And to know that, you would have put it in the calculator and looked. So you would have said the first one. When you pulled it up, can you tell me what's the first one in 6 months? What does it say? 540? And what was the second one? 580? All right. So if you knew you were only going to live in an apartment for 6 months, you should have gotten the first one. But if you were going to have that cable for longer down the road, then you should have gotten the second one. Okay, let's look at number 2. Number 2 says the sum of two numbers is 50. The first number is 43 less than twice the second number. Write the system of equations to find the two numbers. This one always messes people up trying to figure out what you write, what do you make X and Y. And honestly, it doesn't matter which one you choose for each letter. It just make sure that you know which one you're choosing. Since it uses first number and second number, I'm going to make X the first number and Y the second number. Now, it says the sum. What does sum mean right here? Add. So I'm going to have the sum of the two numbers is 50. Now then it says the first number, so X, is means equal. 43 less than twice the second. See that phrase less than? We've talked about that before. The 43, it puts it at the end. So I have X equals twice the second number less 43. This is going to be what trips you up. The mistake that people will do is they'll write X equals 43 minus 2X. This in the blue is not correct. When they have less than, you have to put it towards the end. Now I can use substitution. So let's go through and do that. Take what X equals. Let's draw a line and put it in here for X. So instead of X, I'm going to write 2Y minus 43. I should put it in parentheses. Plus Y equals 50. Is there a number in front of the parentheses? No, so I can drop that bad boy off at the corner store. Just kidding. Okay. 2Y plus 1Y is 3Y minus 43 is 50. This is solving just equations where I add 43 to each side. 3Y equals 93. Divide by 3. Y equals 31. Now, so wait, let's see. Y is 31. You know how normally I would have chosen this one where it says X equals? Look at this equation. X plus Y equals 50. If you know Y right here is 31, what's X? X equals, it's not 20, I think it's 19, right? 30, right? This one, X plus Y equals 50, is much easier and quicker than doing the other one. But you still get the same answer even if you use the bottom one. So those would be my two numbers. Let's look at the next one. Number 3. Casey wants to buy a gym membership. One gym has a $150 joining fee and costs $35 per month. The other gym has no joining fee, but you pay $60 per month. In how many months will both memberships cost the same, and what will that be? Okay, wait. You guys, before we can do anything, we got to define our variables. We got to write X equals and Y equals. What are the two things we're talking about? What do you have to pay for each time? The number of months. Hey guys, anytime it's talking about cost, a lot of times, like when you're trying to compare two companies, you're going to look at whatever you have to pay for each time and the total cost. So X is going to be the number of months. Y is going to be your total cost. So the first gym, my first gym is $150 just to sign up. But then I only pay $35 each month. The second gym, nice. Okay, the second gym, there's no joining fee, and you pay $60 per month. Now I'm going to shut up for a minute, and I want you to tell me, find where they both cost the same, and I want you to answer part B. Please do that now. All right, so on this one, if we go into the calculator, again, y equals, come on now, see, clear the ink, please. Y, okay, this thing is being rather sensitive. What's happening? $150 plus 35x, and then in Y2 is 60x. Now I like to go to second trace, 5 to intersect, but you can look in the table. Anytime I use that second trace, I always zoom out. You press zoom, and then it says zoom out, and you just press enter to make sure it's way far out. So it says 6 and 360. So I think a bunch of y'all wouldn't even have had a problem with that. So, and because I'm trying to do too many things, what did I say it was? 6 and 360. What that means is that in 6 months, no matter which gym you go to, they're both going to cost you $360. Now it says if you plan to cancel in 5 months, 5 months, which one's cheaper? The first one or the second one? Yeah, I can already tell because you didn't have that joining fee. The second one would be cheaper. Again, it's not a right answer to which one's better, which one's a better deal. It depends on what you want for whatever you're trying to purchase. So the next one says, each family in the neighborhood is contributing $20 worth of food to the neighborhood Harlan family. Whoa, is there more to this? Okay. Full screen. There we go. To the family or the neighborhood picnic. The Harlan family is bringing 12 packages of buns. Hamburger buns cost $2 a package. The hot dog buns cost $150 per package. How many of each types of buns did the Harlan family bring? Okay, well, first off, well, what is it? Each family is contributing $20. And so, they're bringing buns, so they must be bringing hamburger buns and hot dog buns. So I'm going to start with this. X equals the number of, I'll make this one hamburger buns. You could have made it hot dog. Y equals the number of hot dog buns. Oh, it's not the number, is it? Oh, maybe it is. Hold on. Yeah, it is. Okay. The Harlan family is bringing 12 packages. So I'm going to take the hamburger plus the hot dog, and that equals 12. Now you got to add the dollar amount to it. How much were the hamburger buns? $2. See how I'm writing it out to the side right here? I do this when I'm trying to write my system, so I make sure I don't put them with the wrong letter. So I'm going to have $2 times the hamburger plus $1.50 times the hot dog, and that's going to equal $20. Now see, again, these are both written in standard form. We only know how to solve by substitution and by graphing. So what you can do is x plus y equals 12. Subtract x from each side. Y equals 12 minus x. There's one of your equations. 2x plus 150y equals 20. Subtract 2x from each side. 150x equals negative 2x plus 20. You know what the cool thing is with the calculator is that you really don't even have to reduce. What I'm trying to say is this. I get, oh, by the way, that's supposed to be, how come y'all don't tell me that's supposed to be a y right there? There we go. Y equals, put in the calculator just like this. Negative 2 divided by $1.50x plus 20 over $1.50. Leave it like that. You don't have to reduce it. The calculator knows what you're doing. So let's go back here and do that. And it's probably going to be weird, so you guys might have to help me here. And well, there we go. I can move it over. So I go into y equals, and I'm going to put in there 12 minus x. And in y2, negative, oh, no. Here's the deal. When you have those fractions, put them in parentheses. Negative 2 divide 1.5 parentheses x plus, I'm going to put parentheses 20 divided by 1.5. I'm not even going to reduce my fractions. I'm just going to put it in there like that. Second graph. You know it's got to be in the table because can you purchase half of a hot dog? Like, can you go in there and the hot dog buns are $2 for a package? And you can say, oh, I only want 4 of them because I only have $1. Okay, you can't do that. Look right here. Here's your answer, 4 and 8. So what does that mean? Well, let's see. 4 and 8. When I look up here, X is the number of hot dog buns, right? So that means, or no, not hot dog. 4 is the hamburger buns. And Y, the 8, is the hot dog. Okay, next one. Go back up here to view. Full screen. There we go. Elizabeth met 24 of her cousins at a family reunion. The number of male cousins was 6 less than twice the number of female cousins. Write a system that can be used to determine the number of females and the number of males. Okay, well, when you have to define your variables here, it gives you M and F. M is going to be the males. F is going to be the females. So when they want you to write the system, the males plus the females equals 24. Now look at the thing where you have to be careful. The males is the same as is. Look at that phrase right there. Underline that on your paper. Draw a line with your 6 and do it like this, just kind of as a memory. Like I would, if you got in the habit of doing that on your homework, you guys would get used to it for doing it for the end of course exam to be able to help you remember. Twice the number of female cousins minus 6, less 6. Now, you can put this in the calculator. I'm going to go ahead and do it by substitution. Now, if you put it in the calculator, instead of M and F, you'd have to change them to X and Y. But that's not a big deal. But I'm going to take this. I'm going to take the M, put it in there for that M. So I get 2F minus 6 plus F equals 24. Put your F's together. 3F minus 6 is 24. Add 6. 3F equals 30. How many females are there? What's 30 divided by 3? 10. So here's my thing. If I know that there's 10 females and there's 24 total cousins, how many males are there? 14 males. Next one. Now look at this problem. This says which problem is best represented by the following system. First off, we're talking about nickels and dimes. Obviously, that's what they're using the N and D for. Roger has 12 coins of nickels and dimes. See, that's what this is saying right here. It's saying the number of nickels and the number of dimes is 12. Good. This says They have 5 coins of nickels and dimes. No, it's not B. 5 coins, nope. Okay, so C says the same thing. Now, in this right here, are there more dimes or nickels in that first equation? What is there going to be more of? If I have, like, for example, if I had 5 nickels, how many dimes do I have? If you put 5 in here, you would have 10 dimes, right? You're going to have more dimes. There are 5 more dimes than nickels. That's why your answer would be A. Sometimes you need to plug in numbers to try and figure out which one it would be. Oh, let's see. So on the last ones down here, it says describe the number of solutions a system has. Remember, you have the choices of 1, none, and many. If the lines are parallel and have the same slope, then there's 1. Oh, what am I saying? See, I'm trying to go too fast. Let me slow down a minute. When there's 1, that means the 2 lines intersect. The equations will be different. If there is none, they're parallel and the slopes are the same. If there is many, it means when we solve for y that they're going to be the same line. So let's go through here and let's solve for y. So on number 7, the first one is already in y equals form. The second one, subtract 2x from each side. I get y equals negative 2x plus 5. Look, they have the same slope, different y-intercepts. That means there is no solution. On number 8, you already have one in y equals form. I subtract 2x from each side. I get y equals negative 2x plus 4. Well, look, this is the same as this one. That means that there are many solutions because they are the same line. The next one on number 9, as you look at this, one of them is already in y equals form, kind of. If I wanted to fix this, I can do the distributive property. Y equals 4x plus 8. Let's rearrange that top one. 4x minus 3y equals 8. Subtract 4x from each side. Negative 3y equals negative 4x plus 8. Divide by negative 3. Y equals positive 4/3 x minus 8/3. These two equations are different, so there is going to be one solution. The very last one that was on your paper, and it just went away, so let me try one more time, is this one. It tells you x equals 8 and y equals 0. Well, x equals 8 is right here, up and down. Y equals 0 goes across here. They cross in one spot. This one will be one solution.